Welcome to the third episode of OK Takes, the podcast that is the perfect limbo between awful and extraordinary. Before starting today's episode, it's time to do some housekeeping and address the elephant in the room, that is Trevor Bauer. So, we didn't mention it on Thursday's show because with something as serious and heinous as that, it's best to just give it some time to breathe because when we recorded Wednesday night, the article from The Athletic came out Wednesday afternoon, so we just wanted to give it some time, see as new things developed, and as things developed, it has become an absolute nightmare. So obviously, Edward and I disavow Bauer's actions and hope the victim finds some form of inner peace, whatever that may be. And with that said, this will be the last time we're going to talk about it until a big update comes along and we'll fill you guys in with whatever is going to happen. So, we wanted to address it quickly and not ignore it because acting like it didn't happen is definitely a diss to the victim, but it just doesn't sit right and feels really shitty as well. But on the other hand, we are here to give you guys lighthearted, fun content. Like we're here to discuss shit like Steve Ballmer jerking off his friend's legs at a Clippers game. That's what we're here for. So now that we did our housekeeping, got that out of the way, it's official. Bobby Portis and the Bucks are going to the finals. We will talk some Bucks Hawks, games 5 and 6, and then we'll dive into some Dodgers heading out to the White House, checking out good old 1600 Pennsylvania Ave, and then sweeping the Nationals, and also bullshit All-Star snubs. It is that season. It's the season of bullshit. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. All right. Are we ready to ask the question, are the Bucks better off without Giannis?
First of all, I want to say it is 4th of July. You're probably going to hear fireworks. Oklahomans go crazy with that. So I'm going to apologize right now. This is the only time that'll happen, but we'll fight through it. We'll bear with me. We'll get through this together. It is a question that needs to be asked, but the answer is pretty clear and obvious.
Yes.
No, they're not. But it's interesting that they were able to finish off this series without him. So the question should be asked, but the answer still should be no.
Doesn't hurt. But we might have gotten no to that question. But we had a big development as far as OK Takes goes. I think we found our guy.
Mm-hmm.
We found our OK Takes Player of the Year. We found our OK Takes Poi. And his name is Bobby Portis.
Congratulations, Bobby.
Yes. Game. Well, I think when we were texting, I think you had a pretty solid comparison. I don't want to take your joke.
No, I mean, we talked about Patrick Beverley being that gritty guy, dive for the ball out of bounds guy. I mentioned I like Draymond Green better. He does it in a better way. If we're the limbo between awful and extravagant, terrific, then Bobby Portis is the limbo between Draymond Green and Patrick Beverley. Like, Bobby Portis is the OK Takes of the NBA. Scrappy, gritty type players.
Yes, he is officially your guy. So, game 5, Bucks win. He is incredible. Puts up 28 points and 8 rebounds. Has a couple steals as well. And after the game, everybody's giving him his flowers. And I see a little article come across my timeline that for whatever reason catches my eye. Kind of probably because the headline is, before games, Bobby Portis pictures opponents slapping his mom. This has that bit of crazy lunatic that I absolutely love in sports, where this is the only, like, you don't pretend people are going to slap your mom before you go out to your job as a CPA. You don't do this when you're a driving instructor for AAA. No, this is the only place where it's okay, where you can pretend like somebody legitimately assaulted a parent. So it was an article from CBS, and they were interviewing him while he was at Arkansas before the 2015 draft. He ended up being drafted by the Bulls. But he said in the article, I play very angry because every game I sit in the locker room and I envision that the other player on the team slapped my mom. That's why I get mad, and now I've got to get you because you slapped my mom.
Yeah, I mean, that has to be what Michael Phelps was thinking about in that classic picture of him sitting there all angry-faced before an Olympic race with his headphones on And it came out that he was listening to Stick Talk by Future. That's what he said he was listening to in that picture. But just based on the look on his face, he was clearly thinking about someone slapping his mom or something along those lines. So I think if you want to become that angry player that's always going to go after the other guy, that's what you need to be thinking about before the game.
Oh, I just love it so much. This literally screams football guy energy. Like, this is something you hear about a fullback from Army before putting up like 30 pancakes against Navy.
Yeah.
And this is the best story. So, like I said earlier, Bucks win Game 5, but this was big because now we're starting to see, like, really, can they play without Giannis? Can they have some of the role players step up? And we got to see Bobby Portis was that guy, pal. Hey, you are that guy.
Yeah.
You are that guy.
You are that guy.
Because
pal.
the series before against the Nets didn't do anything. It's incredible. Game 1 against the Nets, played 17 minutes, hit 26 points. Game 2 against the Nets, played 17 minutes, was a minus 26 and a 39-point blowout. Games 3 and 4 combined for a total of 4 points in both of those games. Doesn't play games 5 through 7. Gets his first start in the playoffs. Game 5 against the Hawks and goes ballistic. He had me left and right. And then Crazy Ice was born.
Yeah, I mean, that picture, he was like above the rim, getting ready to yam it down, and his eyes are like, yeah, Crazy Eyes was born.
You know what reminded me of that? It was that episode of iCarly where they're setting the world record, and the woman from Guinness like shows up, her boyfriend shows up, and he's literally the guy that's gone the longest without blinking, and Spencer keeps trying to get him to blink.
Yes.
He has those kind of eyes.
Yes, he does.
Yes, so then from Game 5 as well, we also got incredible performance from Brook Lopez.
The slowest man on earth.
Slowest man on earth. Brook Lopez is the byproduct of a threesome between like Mike Lennon's neck, Paul Bissonnette, and Mongo and Shrek 2 during the I Need a Hero scene.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself, but seriously though, Brook Lopez, like, he's one of those like big, tall centers that like, and yeah, he can shoot through whatever. When he stretches the floor and he does that little pump fake and he gets the defender flying and he starts to move towards the basket, he's like, his steps are like the slowest in the world. Like, it takes him another like 20 minutes to get to the rim. Like, he's remarkable to watch. I love watching him play because he's so slow, but he's also really calculated in everything he does.
You know how he moves? He moves like Chris Paul's son when he's going for the big dunk in the State Farm commercial.
That's it. Yeah.
But that was enough. And so like during Game 5, because that was really sad, we're like the score bug, we're like introducing the game, and now we have, because you're used to seeing like it would have been Giannis versus Trae, but now we have on the bug, we have Chris Middleton versus Kevin Huerter. Like, who? Like, imagine ESPN. Like, wait,
Clint Capella.
do we put Danilo? Because I feel like he's most well known out of all these guys.
Yeah.
Because we're like, okay, well, we're gonna get Trae back. He's gonna battle through, and in Game 6, it just wasn't there. It really just wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Or your biggest takeaways from Game 6?
Yeah, I mean, Chris Middleton was unreal. He is that guy, pal. Chris Middleton, like.
All right, I think we've reached the limit on that guy, pal. I think it's dead now. I think we should. Yeah, we stood over it, shot it, buried it.
The dead horse. We beat the dead horse. Okay, I won't use it anymore. I'll try at least. But I mean, Chris Middleton, he proved that. God, I want to say it again right there, but I won't. He proved that he is like, you can win a ring with Chris Middleton, and they might, because there was always that question of, is he a good enough number 2 to win? And most people thought he's not. I always thought he was, and now I definitely think he is. So he was my big takeaway, because when Giannis went down, my immediate thought was Middleton has to take over and really be the one to have that Mamba mentality and just be that guy for the Bucks. And he proved that he can be, and he was. And the Bucks are going to the finals. Congrats to the Bucks.
Because throughout that Game 6, it wasn't crazy. Like it's not like the Bucks had 25-point leads throughout the first half, because it was always between like 10 and 15-ish. And like, but I was actually not 10, probably like 7 to 15. Like it kind of stayed within like an 8-point margin throughout the whole game, or especially throughout the first half. And as soon as the first half picked up, took off. I mean, Chris Middleton legitimately was the guy that won that. Like, he kind of won them that game. Not one guy won.
Yeah.
He was the guy that said, "Yep, I'm gonna put my foot in your neck. I'm gonna put my foot on your neck and curb stomp the fuck out of you."
He did what we wanted Paul George to do.
Yes, that's a great way to put it. So Chris Middleton rattled off 16 straight points in the third quarter, and then ended up putting up 23 in that third quarter as well. And from there, that was it. The Hawks got it within 6 points, around 3 minutes left, but it was a very comfortable lead for the Bucks.
Yeah, it still felt, even though like State Farm Arena was kind of rocking again and the Hawks were pulling back, I had a feeling the whole time like, oh, it's not gonna matter. I had a feeling the Bucks were gonna finish it off, even when the Hawks started to make it interesting.
Because you were expecting the whole game. Because what made that game so interesting is that you're like, okay, Trae Young can shoot them back into this, but he just didn't have it. So what made his injury awful, and it was what he was saying in the pressers after it, was that he couldn't push off of his foot, or he couldn't push off at all, because it was a bone bruise located on his heel, so that when he stepped on the ref's foot, turned his ankle, it legitimately killed it was the Achilles heel of the Hawks. What a perfect way for the Atlanta curse. There is nothing more perfect than that. Your best player, probably going to retire, or if things go the way they are, one of the greatest point guards of the 2020s, his first playoff run is ended because he steps on the ref's foot, and then instead of getting a little tweaked ankle, the Achilles heel.
Yeah,
you can't make this shit up.
They also had, Atlanta sports fans, like, I wish I felt bad. I do to a certain extent, but I also don't to a certain extent, because I get it, the 28-3, the Dodgers are losing a 3-1 lead to the Dodgers, and now Trae Young. But as an LA sports fan, we've been through the ringer ourselves. We lost in 2 straight World Series, where we were being cheated against in both. The Lakers had, Kobe Bryant go down with basically a career-ending injury, and then it was just years and years of being horrible. And we paid our dues, and right now you're paying your dues. So I feel bad, but I also don't.
They've paid a lot more dues than us. Let's be honest.
I don't know.
Because look, none of their teams have won any, like. Yes, but see, none of their teams have actually won anything. Like, we've paid our dues, but the Lakers won 5 championships. Like, we've paid our dues, but the Dodgers have won 7 World Series.
You're right. All time, you're right in terms of all time status. But like, we paid our dues building up to our recent winnings. Is more of what I meant. Like, Dodgers, we had to sit through years of winning the division, and then Matt Adams hitting tanks off Kershaw, and then getting cheated against by the Astros, and cheated against a little bit by the Red Sox. And then the Lakers, we had to sit through the Robert Sacre teams and look, who's that other center? You tweeted about
Roy Hibbert.
I can't think of his name. Roy Hibbert years, okay.
Here.
And then we finally won. Whereas the Hawks now, they're going through that where it's like, okay, we're getting screwed up. We're screwed over rather, over and over again.
But I will say, last point on this before we move on to some Dodgers talk, is that the Braves won 14 consecutive division titles, only have 1 World Series to show for it. So there's that.
Yeah, but I still don't feel that bad. They also have the rap game pretty much on lockdown. They took the blue pill instead of the red pill.
I think a lot of rappers in Atlanta have taken a lot of blue pills. So
yes, they have.
Those Teslas hit different.
Yeah.
I don't think you know what a Tesla is. Good old MDMA. Wow. So I feel like a narc now. Yeah,
you are.
Definitely snitched. So speaking of blue, we're going to move on to the Dodgers. And we are so goddamn hot. I love going over these stats. It gets me fired up. Like I took a blue Tesla. So the Dodgers have won 9 straight games. Our bullpen In the past 45 innings, we have allowed 6 earned runs, and opponents are hitting below 200 against us. We are 31-13 since acquiring Pujols, and we lead the NL in runs per game with 5.1. Bam.
Yeah, I mean, it's been incredible. We ripped off a little 9-piece there, and this was getting towards to be one of those years where I was like, okay, it's going to be like back in 2015, 2016, where our offense was really good and we were winning games like 6-1 after our starter comes out, and then Yimi Garcia and Adam Liberatore come in and give up like 4 runs, and now all of a sudden it's 6-5 with 2 innings left, and we're sweating out games. So it was looking, I was like, this is how the rest of the season is going to go, but nope. Joe Kelly is now Jose Kelly or Joseph Kelly, and Phil Bickford is a wagon in that bullpen. Like I'm all aboard the Bickford train. Way later than you.
I love him. He is the Big Lebowski. He's just chill. He reminds us that nothing's that important.
The hair is it the best hair on the team? Did he pass Bellinger for best hair on the team?
Ooh, that's tough. And I mean, speaking of Bellinger, I do want to, before we go dive in, I do want to bring up some of the White House visit. And
It's awesome.
I know one of the most tired jokes in the history of mankind is Cody Bellinger is the drug guy.
Oh, if you thought you're not that guy, pal, we were beating that dead horse. The Bellinger looks high all the time is literally like, it couldn't be more of a dead horse joke. Like, it's unreal.
Because it's kind of true to a certain, and now it's moved on. For me, it's moved on from weed to coke. Because I mean, if you look at him at the White House, it looks like he just spent a whole half hour at Studio 54 with Halston.
I don't know. I think with the shades on and like, you know, he had the flow going, he kind of looked like it was weed. It looked more like weed to me, but I think he looked pretty good. I actually thought he looked quite down.
I'm getting, not even like throwing back all the way to Studio 54, but like he just left a 305 strip club with Tony Montana.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely always looks like he's on something, so he could be evolving his game.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least he's versatile.
Yep, tool.
All right, and then wrapping up the White House visit, Joe Kelly in the mariachi jacket was probably the crowning moment of Joe Kelly being the people's champ.
Yep. He is forever a Dodger legend, not just because what he did to Correa and the Astros, but he's been really good lately this season, and like if you're performing on the field, it's even better when you do funny shit like this off the field. So it was awesome to see him, and that picture that I think Kelly was in, John Suhu took with him and Bellinger and Seager and Barnes. Album, that should be the album cover of the 2021 Dodgers.
You hope to use that picture over and over. That's a look. You know what? That's honestly a picture that should belong in a history. If there was like a history book going about the 2020 Dodgers, that picture will be, or 2021 Dodgers. Yeah. And just the era, the Dodgers era we're in right now, that one should be included. That one's like front cover. That's above the full picture.
Also, shout out to Biden. I don't know if you heard in his speech, he said we could. I think he said something along the lines like, "We could be seeing you guys back here soon." Like, yeah, he knows, dude. He knows the deal.
I'm a big jinx guy. If he's wrong, then then
it's Biden's fault. Oh, I love that. Yeah, it's Biden's fault then if we don't win it all this year.
You're not there with me. We repeat January 6th. We run. Oh yeah, talk about running it back. Yup, we're running it back. Gonna go in on that ass, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, he kind of deserves it. Maybe without all the death and stuff. But let's cause a ruckus at the White House.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Definitely. Cody should show up on. What should
bath
he show
salts,
up on
ketamine, PCP.
Yeah, anything, dude. All of it. Just let it run rampant.
You should just do
a
fuck ton of whippets.
let him just run through, like, slashing all the paintings, all the murals of all the old presidents. Just get him in there and let him go crazy.
Take a poop in the bathtub that the guy got stuck in and died.
Didn't he die in the bathtub too?
I think so.
It was like Grover Cleveland.
Was it William Taft?
I don't know.
I just think, like, taking a dump in the White House in a, like, not just like any random hallway, but like in a historic part, top 10 bucket list for me.
That's gotta be incredible.
That'd be such a good feeling. Oh my god. Oh, taking a dump in the White House by itself would be pretty sick. It's like the Snoop Dogg story of how, like, he made the excuse he was gonna go take a shit in the White House, but then ended up just smoking a blunt there.
I'm sure Bellinger wishes he could.
Yeah, I gave you the layup, or I gave you the alley-oop for that one. Laid it up right there for you. All right, so now to talk about actual sports. We brought out the broomsticks and we went throughout the house. We went through every single room. Like last time with the Giants, it was quick, boom, boom. We just did the kitchen. Nope, we're going through every hallway, every. Yeah.
The Swiffer jet were working overtime.
It's the Popeyes worker meme of laid over, panting,
sitting on the bench.
Needed a cigarette. Like the Swiffer needed at least like 3 cigarette breaks to get through it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I'm just going to my favorite moment of the series was Game 3. This is, I think, the best way to show how versatile the offense is and how we could crank out runs without needing a big blast. So to start the inning, Muncy walks. Then Turner singles. And then Belly walks. Now we have bases loaded, no outs. And we get back-to-back sac flies from Will Smith and Albert Pujols. Scores 2. And then the next batter, Lux doubles to knock in Belly. It doesn't seem like it's three runs. I mean, it's not crazy. It's not the nine run blow up from the day before Friday's game, but the way you're able to just get productive outs, and that's what we've been begging for. And during that 5 and 15 stretch, I was literally hands and knees praying to every god imaginable. I was going through the Quran, I was going through the Torah, I was going through the Bible, to saying, please, productive outs with runners in scoring position, and we got that.
It was beautiful. It just proves that our offense isn't one-dimensional, and I know it wasn't sexy. It wasn't long home runs, grand slams, but it gets the job done the same. Is all that matters.
Yeah. So at least before we move on to All-Star snubs, what was your biggest takeaway from the series?
Well, this will be a good segue into the All-Star snubs. But it was Max Muncy's revenge series because Game 1, I think, grand slam, absolutely just touched one off. And then throughout the whole series, I think he got at least 1 hit per game. He was walking, he was driving in runs. He is proving that he should be starting at first base in the All-Star game. And I kind of hope Dave Roberts takes Freddie Freeman out after 1 inning. I think that'd be really funny. He probably won't, but no, Muncy was my favorite part of the series for sure because he was definitely playing angry.
Because it was complete bullshit. Complete bullshit.
So
this is at the time. Now, granted, stats have changed since then, and since what I'm about to offer up is only getting better for Muncy, it's insane. But as far as first basemen go, and I believe this was from Friday, but he had 18 home runs, first in the league, a .417 on base percentage, first in the league, .566 slugging percentage, first in the league, and a .983 on base plus slugging. First in the league. First in the league, pretty much with some of the biggest batting statistics, and Freeman still starts over him.
Yeah, I mean, ridiculous, but it wasn't all bad because at least Chris Taylor is an all-star, and he, on the list of most deserving, Muncy's number 1, and I can make an argument that Taylor's number 2 because that guy, he is a glue guy. Chris Taylor is the definition of a utility man. He's so awesome. Gotta love Chris Taylor.
And that's awesome because when you look up Baseball Reference now, you see the all-star, and it's so deserved. And he's been with the team throughout the tail end of this incredible run, and hopefully it's not the tail end, but at least for the 8 consecutive division titles in a row, he has been there, and that's exactly what we wanted to see. is some of the the goddamn recognition.
Yeah, and I mean the biggest omission, as far as just not making the game at all, is Bueller, because Marquez is on.
Let's go. Let's do a little side by side. Let's do a little side by side.
Yeah. So 7-5, 3 I believe 6.4 ERA for Marquez, 40 walks, 94 Ks, and a 1.88 WHIP. Bueller 8-1. 280, 290 ERA, 22 walks, 101 strikeouts for a 0.9, I'm sorry, WHIP. And Marquez made the All-Star team and Bueller did not.
Jesus Christ.
And if you replace Marquez with someone like a Max Scherzer, I can live with that. But what is he doing on that team? Like, he doesn't belong at all.
This is Christ on the storm of the Sea of Galileo, but except Jesus looking up and he's the one that's holy. It's German Marquez and he's looking like a fucking schmuck.
He just does not belong.
No.
It's like one of those like things where it's like pick out the one that doesn't belong, like one of those like problem solving questions, and German Marquez is the one that doesn't belong.
Oh my God, that's abysmal. And you know what? You know what makes this even worse? Because now we have the debate of like who's the bigger snub, Canley or Bueller. And between those guys, for me, it's going to be Canley. And he is a 3-time All-Star, so it's like he does have the hardware. And he was on the team 2016 through 2018. But when you compare his numbers to Melancon, give me a fucking break. So Canley has 21 saves. That's literally the only thing he's behind Melancon in, and it's because Melancon has been given more opportunities. Canley has a 1.30 ERA, better than Melancon, a .98 WHIP, better than Melancon, and a 119 opponent's batting average, also better than Melancon.
Yeah, and I mean, didn't Melancon literally just get walked off by the Phillies?
And he's had a bad past couple weeks, and then what is if you're a what have you done lately for me guy, this is what Canley has done lately for you. 9 for 9 in the past saves. He went all June without giving up a goddamn run. What do you want? What do you want?
What more do we need? Like, what more does he need to do? It's just, and you're right. It's like, it's one of those things where it's like, we're going to have to say, who deserved it more? Was it Bueller or Jansen? When they both deserved it an even amount.
Yep.
And they both should be on the team. It shouldn't be, Bueller should be on, but leave Jansen off. Or Jansen should be on, but Bueller shouldn't. They should both be firmly in the team. And it's really, really disappointing that they aren't.
It is. It sucks. So, sorry we have to end the show on such a bummer of a note. But I hope this riles you up for the start of the week. Start your day off with some fired up takes, because this is bullshit. If this doesn't make you angry, then you're not a real fan.
No.
All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the 3rd episode of OK Takes. Well, obviously you're done listening, so you're like, where can I find these putzes on social media? So you can find myself, Matt Weiner, on Instagram, Twitter, at MattWeiner20. You can find Edward on his Instagram and Twitter at Edward_Vento. And you don't have to pay attention to this. It's not the end of the world. But what is the end of the world is if you don't follow OK Takes. So make sure to follow OK Takes on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok at OK Takes Pod. That's OKAY Takes Pod. Super quick, would help us tremendously. Appreciate a ton if you do. So there you go. We have ended the 3rd episode of OK Takes. Hope you guys enjoyed and have a wonderful day.